From Los Angeles, tonight on Politically Incorrect, a special one-on-one interview with Mrs. Connor herself, Roseanne. And now, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Barr.
Thank you very much. Thank you, folks. Thank you, and welcome to Politically Incorrect. There are a lot of important news stories. I guess you heard Deng Xiaoping is almost dying in China, but none of that affects Roseanne, so let's talk about what's important. You know that ABC has now moved Roseanne's show from 9 to 8 o'clock at night. Yeah, they felt there was a whole audience out there that she had not been offending. And so... like last week, Sharon Stone was the guest star. Did you see that? Those two complement each other very well. Between the two of them, there is not a single body part they haven't flashed. And, of course, you know that the contract with America is almost finished. 8 of the 10 planks of that have been passed. Of course, that's not important. Roseanne has 21 personalities. And they are all distinct from each other. Do you know that? Although they all are embarrassed by She-Devil. That's, I don't know if you know. Is she still back there? Yeah, the April issue of Cosmo came out, and they had all the celebrities describe their sexual fantasies. Like Bette Midler wanted to be a hooker, and Burt Reynolds likes big breasts. Big surprise. And Roseanne fantasizes about a threesome with Ben and Jerry. It's... I kid Roseanne. We only wish her the best. She has a new marriage and a baby on the way. And yeah, the wedding was terrific. They say a beautiful traditional ceremony, after which the minister said, "You may now moon the groom." And she is with child. She's about to have, isn't that amazing? Yes, apparently. Well, apparently it's been a very hard pregnancy. She's already fired 14 gynecologists. It's kidding about that. But no, she's learned from her past, I think. Now she's getting a new tattoo on her ass, but it says, "Your name here." So just... Anyway, stick around. It's all been satirized for your protection. All right, welcome back. Thank you. I do have a very special guest tonight. I don't know what to say about her except that she is beloved by millions, and probably when it's all written, she may be the most popular person ever to be on the medium of television. We had her on once before with a regular panel, but no one else got to say anything. So we thought we'd bring her on all by herself. Roseanne!
Bill.
I look at that and I think, that is what I'm working toward. No, seriously. I mean, of all the shows I've done, I've never gotten quite a reaction like that.
Well, you got a big one when you came out here.
Not that big.
Oh, I thought it was big. I thought it was pretty big.
It was big, but considering it's my show.
Oh, no, they love you. They love you.
But they don't love me as much as you, and that's okay, because you worked for it, and you deserve it, and you earn it. But why?
Thank you.
No, you should. But let me ask you. Was there
Big
something
hair
in your...
in there.
There was a hair in there?
Yeah.
Well, feel free to fire someone. Mi casa, su casa. No, I'm going to be very gentle with you tonight because you are now creating publicity for two.
Yeah, thank you.
How do you feel? How far along are you?
I'm 5 months.
Really?
Thank you. 20 weeks, I'm half done,
Now, yeah.
half there.
Now, let me tell you, I saw you on with Jay about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you told a joke. Would you tell it tonight? You said,
What?
Let me start you. You said you had a, I don't know what the name is, but it's something where they put a machine and they can tell whether it's a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
What is that called?
Well,
A thing.
that's the
Sonogram?
What is it called? I can't remember. Amniocentesis I had.
That's it.
Is that it? That's where they stick a needle and they pull out some fluid and they put it through all these tests to make sure everything's okay.
Right, and you said that...
Oh, yeah, I know what joke you're talking about now.
Tell it.
I said how did I say
It had a penis.
I said
It had a
we
penis.
thought it was a boy because we saw that it had a penis, but we're not sure because it also had a brain. Did you get all up in your shorts about that?
I'm up in my shorts anyway in a degree you have no idea about. But no, I wanted to ask you because you, are a champion of fairness and so forth.
Yeah, I know.
What if I or some male comedian came out and did the exact opposite joke and said, well, it had a brain, we're not sure, because, it might be a woman. I mean, can you imagine what the booing and the outcry would be?
I actually would
Do you
have
think-
laughed.
But, I mean, people would boo.
No, they wouldn't. They'd laugh.
Oh,
Come
please.
on.
If I
Women
came
have
out-
been the butt of male jokes for 2 million years, and we've always laughed. And now I come out and I make a few crummy little jokes about you and your penises, and you can't take it.
Roseanne,
And you know it's true.
that is not true. If a male comedian came out and made the same joke, it would not be funny. It would be the most politically
He would be
incorrect
selling
thing.
out Madison Square Garden, as did Dice Clay and Sam Kinison.
And where are they? Dead and over.
No. One is dead. One's dead, unfortunately.
Right.
But Dice is on his way to a big comeback.
What, you have some inside information
Well,
that
he's
is...
He's
It's a
actually,
well-kept secret, I'll tell you that.
he's actually a friend of mine, and I think he's a great comic, and I think that you can't censor comedy because it finds its own level, and he did that because everybody's like that. Guys are like that.
Guys are like what?
The way that Dice did his act, guys are like that.
Oh, so you don't have a problem with that?
No.
So you think everybody should be able to make fun of
course.
everybody
Yeah.
equally, and that's...
Well, I mean, I'm talking about specifically about women. I mean, women jokes. And guys do all that crap. I mean, street corner guys, you're not going to tell me that guys aren't like that.
No, I'm not, but, I mean...
So they got
Well,
a right to their jokes.
Okay, I want to ask
And
you...
they got a right to entertain plumbers.
All right, I have to take a break, and when I come back, I'm going to get in a word edgewise.
When we come back, Roseanne goes into labor. If you'd like to be a member of our studio audience, call 212-512-8959.
Not a bad idea. Okay, we're back with Roseanne, and let me ask you, because
Yeah.
I met your, I was going to say beau, but he's your husband
My
now.
husband, yeah.
Ben Thomas, recently.
Ben Thomas.
And you looked very happy that night, and you look very happy now, so I'm
Thank
glad
you.
that he's making you happy.
He's the greatest person. He's so cool.
But just tell me, because a lot of people know I know you, and they ask me, they say to this, I'm just telling you the lay of the land. they say, you know, well, geez, why? He looks just, he reminds people of Tom.
Oh, no, no, no.
And I'm just saying, well, he's a big, burly, kind of a goofy, you know, good-looking bodyguard type of. He used to drive you?
Yeah, he used to drive me and be my bodyguard.
When you want to talk to him, you don't go like this, do you?
No,
Say, Ben, oh, I'm sorry, you're over there now.
In fact, one of my friends asked me when we got married, they go, well, you'll be riding up front with him now? He's so cool, though.
Tell them what you told me in the green.
It's so cool.
That's
why I love him so much, because he's just so very real and grounded, and he doesn't care about show business because it's not real. It's not our real life, you know. Mm-hmm. But we were watching Sleepless in Seattle last night, and Rob Reiner comes on in this scene, and Ben goes, hey, isn't that Meathead? Where's he been?
So
it's so great.
But people, I mean, skeptics would say that people, especially in relationships, repeat patterns and mistakes over and over.
Yeah.
So you don't see any similarity.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Okay.
No.
Good. I'm glad.
You know what? There's this one, I think it was Dorothy Parker or someone who said, every woman is entitled to a middle husband she can forget.
I think you made that up to justify.
No, I didn't, but I remembered it as soon as I read it.
Okay. Now, I know we've had discussions and arguments, actually. You were at my house once when you were wagging your finger at me and saying, because I think I had a big joint in my hand.
Yeah. And you wouldn't pass it.
No, that's not what we were fighting about. You were lecturing me, as you have done. I mean, you're...
What was I lecturing you on that time?
About, because you're very anti-drug.
Oh, not anymore.
Are you serious? Was that a Tom Arnold?
Yeah.
That's over now?
That was another Tom Arnold.
Oh, Christ.
Thing.
Let's stop tape.
Well, you know, I was supporting my then husband, who was, you know, whatever, in working a program. So I didn't do it in honor of him.
I was going to ask you, because I know you've been on Prozac.
Oh, yeah. Prozac, Dicipramine, and Klonopin.
Just yell out for your favorite narcotic.
But I haven't been on anything since last year. Quit them all.
Okay, no, that's good. But, I mean, you know from being in rehab and all the therapy, that kind of stuff.
I never went to rehab.
Well, I mean, therapy, you're a big, all
I
that
know,
kind of stuff. That, you know, people replace one addiction with the other.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, do you think fame is an addiction? Publicity? Because you seem to be always, we made a short list.
No, but I'll tell you what, it's interesting that you brought that up, because I was just doing this, talking to this guy from the New Yorker about that. And what happened to me, I think, is because, you know, all the stuff that came with fame and doing my show and all that kind of thing, I had that medium of television, and I also had a medium of stand-up, and you know, they're two really different mediums. And because of moving from one to the other, like this third one just sprung up, and it was about almost like about going in the media to critique how the media viewed my other work. And it became kind of an Andy Warholing thing for me. And I have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed playing it, enjoyed doing it. And it wasn't because of an addiction to anything, but it was like, why not twerk it? It's extremely sexist, homophobic, racist, and every other thing. And it deserves to, like...
What is?
The media.
Oh, God.
The print media.
You always have to bring up that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like, you know, if you can, you should. And so I did purposely go and talk about these things.
Oh, so you think it's for a cause that you did the national anthem and the fax thing and the parking thing? And
actually, yes.
And I heard you sleep in a hyperbolic chamber. I mean, what? I have to take a break.
It wasn't for a cause. It was because I wanted to. It wasn't for any cause other than what I believe in.
But my question is, don't you think you're addicted to publicity? Don't you think
if I was addicted to publicity, I would not be doing your show.
Next up, Bill and Roseanne compare their tattoos.
Got a problem with any of this? Well, write to us at Politically Incorrect, 514 West 57th Street, New York, New York, 10019.
Okay. Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed your little shot at my expense there. Which brings up an interesting point, I think, which is you're angry. I mean, that's sort of something that really informs your work. I think all through there's always that anger. I think one thing that really connects you with people is they feel that. They know it's real. I mean, I know it's real, on and off camera. But what do you think it is that you're angry at? I mean, where does this anger come from? I mean, like Alan King used to be mad at the airlines. That I could understand.
Well, I'm mad at the airlines too, damn it. I don't know. I feel like most comics are angry. You're angry.
Not as angry as you.
Yes, you are.
Well, now I am after you said that.
No, I think we're like pretty much, I think it's a lot about being a thinker and thinking deeply and being, kind of pissed off about a lot of injustice that we see. So I think that's why we try to make that funny, because we're trying to affect a change in people's
Injustice
minds.
to other people or injustice to you?
In everything. In the world. To other people, to ourselves. Specifically, I think when we're part of, quote, other people and other subgroups besides the norm, the dominant culture one.
But what about the fact that now when you started your show, you were pretty much playing the person you were.
Yeah.
You were poor, blue collar.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not that person anymore. You don't even look like that person.
No, I'm that person.
Really?
Yeah.
You think you can stay in touch and be as rich as you are?
In touch with what?
The price of milk?
Honestly, I have to say I don't care about the price of milk. Don't care about the price of most things.
At one point you did care.
Yes, absolutely.
So how can you say you're in touch?
I'm in touch with the same stuff I was always in touch with.
Not the price of milk.
Well, that was always a kind of a peripheral thing in my world anyway.
But I mean, you were a certain person. Just like
I was poor.
Like Woody Allen started his career with the jokes where I can't get laid. Well, now obviously he can get laid.
Right. Yeah, obviously. So what?
You don't think it makes a difference?
No, not at the core of who you are. I don't think price and money have anything to do with it. And maybe for a while I did, but now I don't.
Okay. I want to ask you about sex. You have a quote here about being obsessed with your sexuality is a sign you've been sexually abused.
Yeah.
Anyone who has sex as number one is, well, you said a word I can't say, screwed up, we'll say.
Well, I was
sex
talking about that years ago about Madonna and her sex book,
Uh-huh.
which I have to throw in a plug here. Because I just thought it was just like, anybody who's a sex addict has some kind of dark thing in their past. And because you try to master traumatic memories by recreating them over and over and over.
But why shouldn't sex be number one? It's the funnest thing you can do.
I didn't say it couldn't be number one.
What happened?
I didn't say it couldn't be number one.
You said
and
anyone who has it as number
one.
one is f***ed up. That's what you said.
I told you I was talking about that book. When everything you talk about and everything you do is about sex and acquiring sex, yeah, I do think you're f***ed up. There's actually other things in the world, and I know if you can pull your hand out of your pants long enough to listen, there are actually other things in the world that matter too, besides sex, and that was the point I was making.
Well, I've been humiliated. I know it's time to have a commercial.
Next up, Bill pays Roseanne not to sing the national anthem.
All right, welcome back, and to no one's surprise, this has gone much too quickly. There's so many things I didn't ask you that I wanted to. One of them was I did want to ask you about the personality thing. Now, you have never struck me You've never struck me, which alone I think is newsworthy. But I mean, of all the times, you don't strike me as someone with a lot of personalities. No, I mean, you can be difficult, but I mean, I always see you as a pretty straight shooter, and always as pretty much the same person, someone you can deal with, someone you can look in the eye. So I was confused when that thing came out about 21 personalities.
Well, it's true. I do have MPD, which is something that happens to you from child abuse and child sexual abuse. It's much more common than anybody believed. But no, different parts, they're not called personalities anymore, they're called parts. And different parts come out to do different things, and it is true. But I want to say that we are very high-functioning people who have this disorder. Oh. And it's a disorder, it's not a curse of Satan. And we are, and there's a lot of ignorance around it, but, you know, I live with it, have always lived with it, and probably always will. And so do a lot of other people. Okay. And, you know, it's nothing scary.
Okay. Quickly, the show is moving to 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm so pissed.
All 21 are pissed, or just?
Just me.
But can I plug it? 8 o'clock, new time for Roseanne. Thank you so much, young lady. Roseanne, ladies and gentlemen, 8 o'clock from now on. America will just for 6 weeks.
And then, like, all next season, I just know it. I just know it. Thank you.
Oh, tomorrow night, my guests are Michael Huffington, Paul Rodriguez, Margaret Cho, Rena Sofer.